A man is not haunted by a woman only because of the words she used. He remembers her because of what kept echoing in his mind after she walked away. That is the part most people miss. They think attraction is built by doing more, saying more, proving more, giving more, showing more. It is not. The women who stay in a man's thoughts are often the ones who did not force the moment. They did not chase the room. They did not struggle to be noticed. They carried something quieter, deeper, stronger, a calm kind of fire. And if you have ever felt like you gave your time, your beauty, your softness, your attention, and still got mixed signals in return, stay with me, because this can change how you see attraction. Not with tricks, not with games, with presence, with timing, with simple words that land hard because the feeling under them is real. And by the end of this, you will not only have 3 powerful lines, you will understand the energy that makes them work. Watch closely, because one small shift in the way you speak can change the whole feeling between you. Once you understand that, you stop trying so hard to be liked and start becoming the woman he thinks about long after the conversation is over. Picture a busy street, cars rushing, people talking over each other, everyone trying to be seen. Now picture one woman in the middle of all that noise who does not rush, does not perform, does not force herself into the center. She just stands there, relaxed, present, fully at home in herself. That kind of energy pulls people in, not because it is loud, but because it feels rare. Men feel that even if they cannot explain it well. Attraction is not always built through effort. Many times it grows when you stop chasing and start holding your ground. It lives in the pause before you speak, in the way you do not hurry to explain every feeling, in the way you let silence breathe instead of attacking it with nervous words. Most people think attention comes from performance, but real pull comes from emotional weight, from the feeling your presence creates. A man may forget the exact sentence you said. He may forget the song that was playing. He may even forget the color you wore. But he will remember how he felt standing near you. That is what stays. That is what lingers. So stop asking, how do I impress him? And start asking, what does it feel like to be around me? Does it feel rushed? Does it feel unsure? Does it feel like I need something from him? Or does it feel warm, playful, calm, and just a little dangerous? That last part matters more than most people realize. Here is the truth many women learn too late. Men do not fall the hardest for logic. They fall for a feeling. They remember a mood, a pause, a look, a sentence said at the right second with the right energy behind it. That is why so many women feel confused. They think, I answered fast, I was kind, I showed interest, I gave him reasons to choose me, so why did it still not work? Because emotion does not respond to proof the way people think it does. Emotion responds to experience. If your words feel tense, he feels pressure. If your words feel needy, he feels weight. If your words feel grounded, playful, and calm, he feels drawn in without fully knowing why. That is where the shift begins. That is the difference between trying to be understood and becoming magnetic. One pushes, the other invites. One says, please see my value. The other quietly says, I already know my value. You can feel that difference in seconds. This is why a little mystery matters. Not fake mystery, not acting cold, not pretending you do not care. Just enough space for him to feel your depth without you explaining every layer all at once. If that is already landing for you, Keep listening, because this is where it gets interesting. The right sentence can change the temperature of a moment, but only if the energy beneath it is real. Think about a song that was not the loudest thing you heard all day. It was not begging for your attention. It was not trying too hard. Yet hours later, it is still playing in your head. That is what emotional resonance does. It does not fight for attention. It quietly takes it. That is how memorable women move. They are not trying to outshine every other woman in the room. They are not desperate to prove they are prettier, funnier, easier, or more available. They are creating a feeling, and a feeling stays. A woman becomes unforgettable when she makes a man feel like there is more under the surface. Like every sentence has an aftertaste. Like even her silence is saying something. That is why you should not rush to fill every empty space. Let the pause sit there. Let eye contact do some of the work. Let your smile finish what your words started. In a world full of noise, calm becomes unforgettable. And calm does not mean boring. Calm can be electric when it is paired with confidence. Calm can carry heat. Calm can create tension. Calm can make a man lean in without even noticing he is doing it. So before we get to the 3 lines, understand this deeply. The words are not the whole magic. The feeling around the words is what gives them power. Without that, a strong line falls flat. With that, even a simple sentence can stay in his head for days. The first line is simple, but if you say it the right way, it changes the air between you. You and me, that could be dangerous. Soft voice, easy smile, no long setup, no big performance, just a playful thought dropped into a warm moment. That is why it works. It does not beg. It does not praise him too much. It paints a picture. It gives him a quick flash of a version of the two of you that feels exciting, risky, alive. And when a line gives someone a picture, the mind starts filling in the rest. That is where attraction grows stronger. But the real power is not only in saying it. The real power is in what you do next. You do not explain it. You do not panic and cover it with nervous laughter. You do not jump in with, "I was just kidding." No, you let it breathe. Hold eye contact 1 second longer. Smile a little. Then move on or let the silence do its work. That silence is not empty. It is charged. It gives the sentence room to echo. And when it echoes, it grows. Use this line only when the mood is already warm, playful, and alive. Maybe there has been laughter. Maybe he is already leaning in. Maybe the two of you are sharing one of those small moments where the outside world fades a little. That is when this line becomes more than words. It becomes a doorway. Once his imagination steps through that doorway, the moment keeps living in his mind after you are gone. Maybe part of you wonders if that sounds too bold. Here is the answer. Bold feels wrong only when it comes from desperation. When it comes from ease, it feels attractive. That is the whole difference. A woman who says something daring while staying grounded does not look thirsty. She looks alive. She looks awake. She looks like someone who trusts her own charm. Men notice that fast. They may not say it, but they feel the shift. Stay here, because the timing part matters more than the line itself. Do not throw this line into a flat moment just because it sounds good on paper. Timing matters. The right words in the wrong moment become the wrong words. If the energy is dead, let it be dead. Do not try to force a movie scene where there is no spark. Learn to notice when the air is ready. Learn to feel when the rhythm is there. Attraction has pace. It is not something you drag, it is something you sense. If you rush, you break it. If you talk too much, you weaken it. If you trust it, it starts building itself. So when you say, you and me, that could be dangerous. Let it come from a real moment. Let it come from a feeling that is already there. That is when it leaves a mark. Now the second line works in a softer way, and that is exactly why it can hit even harder. The second line is quieter, but it can stay in his head even longer. You have a way of distracting me, and you do not even know it. That line is not loud. It is not a dramatic confession. It does not dump your feelings in his lap. It creates curiosity. It tells him that he affects you without fully explaining how. That little missing piece is what keeps the sentence alive in his mind. He starts replaying it. What did I do? What part of me reached her? What moment made her say that? That is how curiosity grows. You are not oversharing. You are not making yourself too available. You are opening the door just enough for him to want to step closer. Again, timing matters. This line is beautiful after a laugh, after eye contact, after he says something that catches you off guard in a good way. You say it lightly, like you noticed something true and simply let it slip out. Then stop. Let him sit with it. Let him feel it. Do not save the moment with extra words. Some of the strongest attraction grows when you trust the moment enough not to overfeed it. Saying less with confidence often lands deeper than saying more with fear. And this is where many women miss the power completely. There is another layer hidden inside this line. It lets you stay in your feminine power without making yourself small. You are not asking him if he likes you. You are not demanding to know where this is going. You are simply showing that his energy touched you. That creates a mirror effect. Now he becomes aware of his own impact. He starts seeing himself through your eyes. That is powerful because people are drawn to those who reflect something back to them that feels rare, flattering, and just mysterious enough to pull them closer. That is why mystery works. It does not close the loop. It opens it. It gives the mind something to come back to later. And if he comes back to the thought later, he comes back to you. A lot of attraction is not built through giant moments. It is built through tiny echoes, little emotional hooks that feel natural in the moment and unforgettable later. So let your words leave room. Let them breathe. Let him meet you halfway inside his own imagination. That is often where desire gets stronger. Men do not always chase what is fully explained. They chase what keeps pulling at their attention. Not confusion, not games, just depth. Just enough space that he feels there is more to discover. This is why restraint is beautiful. Not coldness, not pretending not to care. Restraint. The ability to feel the moment fully without pouring out every thought the second it appears. That creates elegance. It creates tension. It creates presence. When you like a man, you do not need to perform your interest every minute to keep the connection alive. Let your warmth show in your eyes, in your tone, in your timing, in one line that lands and then fades into silence. That is enough. Many times it is more than enough. The problem is that many women were taught that if they do not keep reassuring the connection, it will disappear. So they overgive, they overtext, they over-explain, they pour and pour, hoping it will create safety. But attraction rarely grows from overpouring. It grows from shared discovery, from moments that unfold naturally, from both people leaning in. Not one person carrying the whole emotional weight alone. Now let us go deeper, Because the third line carries the most heat, and it needs the most confidence behind it. If I kissed you right now, I do not think you would stop me. That line is bold, very bold. But bold does not have to mean reckless. When it is spoken with calm control, and only when the chemistry is clearly there, it creates intense tension because it flips the usual energy. You are not begging. You are not fishing for validation. You are naming a possibility with full belief in the moment between you. And when a woman can hold that kind of moment without falling into nervousness, it can feel electric. But listen carefully. Do not use this line just because it sounds powerful. Use it only when the energy is already strong. The eye contact is real. The closeness is there. The moment feels alive enough to hold it. The line itself is not magic. The mood is what gives it force. Say it slowly. Keep your voice soft. Keep your eyes on him. Then pause. That pause is where imagination opens. That pause is where the air gets heavier. That pause is where he feels the tension instead of just hearing the words. And if you do not trust yourself enough to hold the pause, do not use the line yet. Build your energy first, because deep attraction always comes from what is behind the words, not from the words alone. This is where many women go wrong. They hear a strong line. They love how it sounds. They use it at the wrong time, in the wrong tone, from the wrong energy, then wonder why it felt awkward. It felt awkward because the line did not match the moment. Think about lighting a match in a bright room. You barely notice it. Now light that same match in darkness. Suddenly, it changes everything. That is timing. If you say something charged in the middle of a dead conversation, it falls flat. If you say something deep while he is distracted, it slips past him. But if you wait for the spark, the words can stay with him for days. So stop trying to force memorable moments. Learn to notice them. Learn when the laughter softens. Learn when the eye contact lasts 1 second longer. Learn when the world around you goes quiet for a heartbeat. That is your opening. Not every moment needs to be seductive. In fact, trying to turn every second into a dramatic scene is exactly what kills the natural magic. Real chemistry has waves. It rises, it settles, it breathes, it pauses. Women who understand that never need to overdo anything. Sometimes the strongest move is to say less. That kind of emotional control is rare, and rare always stands out. A lot of people talk too fast when they feel nervous. They explain too much. They send one extra message. They panic in silence and try to fix what was never broken. But when you can stay calm inside a charged moment, when you can let silence become part of the connection instead of something to fear, you become much harder to forget. Silence held with confidence has power. It frames your words. It sharpens your energy. It shows that you are not trying to sell yourself. You are simply present. And that changes more than people think. Men are used to noise. They are used to pressure. They are used to people rushing to define every feeling before the feeling has even had time to grow. A woman who knows how to slow the moment down can feel like a completely different experience. And different, when it feels good, stays in the mind for a long time. So let us talk about your energy. Because before any line works, your energy speaks first. The way you enter a room matters. The way you sit matters. The way you listen matters. The way you breathe before you answer matters. People feel all of this before they fully hear your words. If you want to leave a mark, stop thinking only about what to say. Think about how you carry yourself while saying it. This part changes everything. Slow down a little. Relax your shoulders. Let your face soften. Let your voice settle into a calmer place. Not flat, not cold, just certain. Give your sentences room. Stop stepping on your own words as if silence is dangerous. Silence is not your enemy. Panic is. When you speak from peace, your words land differently. Even a simple sentence can feel charged. Even a light joke can feel intimate. That is the power of delivery. Men often cannot explain why one woman stays in their mind while another fades. It is often not about beauty, not about who talked the most. It is about who created a feeling, who made the room slow down, who made him feel seen, stirred, amused, or slightly undone without trying too hard. That is emotional presence. And once you have that, almost everything you say becomes stronger. So before you memorize lines, build the state those lines need in order to live. There is also beauty in leaving a little unsaid. Not because you are playing games, but because not every truth needs to be spilled all at once. Some things get stronger when they unfold. That is why walking away at the right time can be more powerful than staying too long and watering the moment down. Knowing when to end the scene while it still glows is a real skill. It leaves the door open in his mind. It leaves him with unfinished feeling. And unfinished feeling is often what pulls someone back. So if you want to become memorable, stop trying to finish every emotional scene. Leave a little warmth in the air. Leave one question behind. Leave one image in his mind. Let him replay the look. Let him remember the pause. Let him feel the energy you left hanging there. This does not mean disappearing to create fake scarcity. It means respecting the natural rhythm of attraction. Sometimes a half smile says enough. Sometimes one sentence said slowly carries more electricity than a long speech. Sometimes the strongest move is to trust the moment and then step away before the feeling gets over-explained. If you are still with me, good, because this next part is where the deeper truth shows up. None of this works if you are using confidence to hide panic. A strong line spoken from insecurity becomes weak the second it leaves your mouth. Energy always tells the truth. If beneath your words you are secretly begging to be chosen, he will feel that. If beneath your pause you are panicking, he will feel that too. That is why your real work is not only learning what to say, it is becoming steady enough inside that your words do not have to chase anything. Ask yourself something honest. Am I saying this to connect, or am I saying it to force something? Am I speaking because the moment is real, or because I am scared of losing him? Those answers matter. The women who stay unforgettable are not the women who say perfect lines every time. They are the women whose words match their energy. Calm, clear, playful, grounded, a little mysterious, a little warm, fully present. When those things come together, attraction stops feeling like work. It starts feeling like gravity. That is real confidence. Not being fearless, being settled. Not needing to control the outcome in order to express desire. Not using boldness as a cover for self-doubt. So before you focus on the script, focus on your state. Build a life that makes you feel full. Protect your peace. Know your value outside of male attention. Because when you feel anchored in yourself, your energy changes without effort. You stop reaching. You stop rushing. You stop making every interaction feel like a test you have to pass. That relaxed certainty is deeply attractive. It gives your words weight. It makes your silence elegant. It makes your eye contact stronger. It makes your smile more dangerous in the best way. Men can feel when a woman is trying to be chosen. They can also feel when a woman is simply expressing herself from a place of self-respect and ease. One energy asks, the other allows. One chases, the other draws in. And that difference is everything. Watch this in your own life, and you will start to see it everywhere. So the next time you are with a man and the spark feels real, do not race to prove yourself. Do not flood the air with effort. Slow down. Let your body say, I am here. I am calm. And I am not afraid of this moment. Then, if the feeling is real and the moment can hold it, let one sentence drop into the silence like fire. You and me, that could be dangerous. Or, you have a way of distracting me, and you do not even know it. Or, if I kissed you right now, I do not think you would stop me. Say less, mean more. That is the real secret. Not louder words, not more words, better energy, better timing, better presence. Once you understand that, you stop asking how to make him chase and start becoming the kind of woman a man cannot easily forget. The kind he thinks about when the room gets quiet again. The kind who returns to his mind in the middle of an ordinary day. The kind who leaves a mood behind. But let me give you one more layer, because this matters. These lines are not magic spells. They are not shortcuts. They are not here to create chemistry where none exists. If the connection is not there, no line can save it. But if the connection is there, the right words can wake it up. They can give shape to what both of you already feel. That is why honesty matters. Use these lines only when they are true for you. Only when your body agrees. Only when your energy is steady enough to carry them. People always feel when words are empty. They can tell when someone is borrowing confidence instead of living it. So do not memorize this like a machine. Absorb the rhythm. Absorb the softness. Absorb the calm power behind it. Then make it yours. Maybe you say, you and me, that could be trouble. Maybe you say, you are a little distracting, you know that? Maybe you say, if I leaned in right now, I do not think you would stop me. Same heat, your voice, your energy, your moment. And that is where the real shift happens. Stop trying to be the woman who is easiest to understand in 5 minutes. Be the woman whose energy unfolds. Be the woman who makes him curious enough to stay present. Be the woman who does not rush to answer every bit of tension with extra words. Let him wonder a little. Let him replay a little. Let him feel the space you leave behind. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming intentional. It is about knowing that quality matters more than quantity.